Sairam, this is Gyani Bele. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and my humble pranams to all of the listeners. In this series of short videos which we are doing, we are sharing our experience of various topics based on what Swami taught us, what Swami told us. Why? Hopefully, it might energize some of you. After hearing these videos, please make your own inquiry. Try to understand, try to inquire into it. And today's sharing will be of three topics. One is self-effort, second one is meditation, and third one is Siddhis. And I'm going to go through that one. In the self-effort, Swami, while guiding the spiritual journey of my spouse Shivangini, who actually left her body in 2005, he used to make her do many things while he was taking her on spiritual journey. Many things like meditate so many times, sharing the experiences with so many people, write down the experiences. This while she was working as well as raising two teenage kids. So naturally, she used to have some questions and she used to ask Swami whenever he was asking her to do certain things in that time frame. Then she would ask him when to do, Swami. So in this question of when to do, Swami gave us an interesting understanding, and I thought we'll share that with you. Swami said, God does not have limitations of time and space like humans do. And Swami said, million lives are nothing to me. And he said, how fast you get to your goal or get a result, how much effort you're going to put into it, how much sadhana you're going to do it, it is up to you. Effort has to come from your own limited free will. God will help you once you start making your effort. Actually, the effort will proceed, how it proceeds, whether it goes smoothly or not, God takes over at that time. But the starting of your effort has to be from you, Swami said. And he said that in proportion to the sadhana, the results, whatever you're seeking or whatever you're trying to get to, is going to depend on the proportion of your sadhana. Greater the proportion of sadhana, the faster you get there, faster you're going to reach there. So Swami further says, doing anything and prompting you, I can do that. But when the rewards or the punishments, when the merits or the demerits you're going to get from that action which you're asked to do are determined by your efforts, by your own limited free will. And for this, I'll give you an example to explain it to you. The example is my own actually. At that time, Swami said that what I was doing was dharma and not sadhana. And a sadhak must do a lot more. And if in this life I go astray, means I do not do the sadhana, then next opportunity will come 17 lives later. And what he was doing here is, he's telling me what to do in this statement which he said. Whether doing it or not is left to me. And how much to do is left to me. And both are in my court. The ball is in my court there. Now what will happen if I do it correctly, if I do it in a fast way, if I do very intensely and so forth, the result will come faster. What if I don't do it as much, if I do very slowly, lethargically or whatever, the result will come later. Later means what? Many lives later. And as Swami said, million lives are nothing for it. So the when portion of the results is determined by our effort, our self-effort. Without putting our self-effort, it will never begin. You'll never get to the goal. Okay. So that's basically the takeaway here is we have limited free will of choosing God, means what God tells us to do, or choosing world. This I spoke in karma as well as free will, that video. But once after choosing, you have to start the effort on your own by using your limited free will. And God will assist you. But the start you must do. And how fast you get to the goal is determined by how much sadhana you're going to put into it. And God allows you to do that. It is in your hands to speed up the process or to slow down the process. So this is the takeaway. So all of you know that without your self-effort, nothing is going to move. Nothing is going to move forward. So that is the main message I wanted to give. Okay. Next one is meditation. I'm not trying to go through a tutorial on meditation here. There are a lot of books written, a lot of people know it, a lot of details to it, so much of variations to it. That's not what we're trying to do. We are just sharing with you some aspects of meditation that Swami told us, which could be useful to you. That is the reason for sharing. And to kind of give you a little background, Kurma Purana says about concentration, meditation, and samadhi. Concentration, it calls it dharana. Meditation is dhyana. And that samadhi. Samadhi is transcendental state. Okay, you go into that state. It defines it. How does it define it? Concentrating on a given object or God, form of God, for 12 seconds without the interruption of any other thoughts. It's a continuously you're concentrating on God for 12 seconds. It's called one dharana, one concentration. And 12 concentrations in a row without any break, continuously. If you can do that one, it is called one meditation. And if you do 12 meditations in a row without interruption of any other thought stopping you, then that is called samadhi. Samadhi is nearly 30 minutes you need to be in that state. For meditation, you need to be 2.5 minutes without any interruption of any other thoughts. These are called dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Okay, with that as background, now I'll go through what Swami's direct guidance was to Shivangini. Okay, at that time, Swami was making her do a lot of puja, a lot of bhakti, a lot of meditation as he was taking her fast on her journey. And at one point, Swami said, you need to do puja, bhakti till a time that you don't need to do it anymore. Although you would continue to meditate till you reach your source, he said. Source being the Brahman or the self, or the higher self. There will come a time you will meditate with your eyes open. That's what he told her. So it's like you kind of advance as you're going further, you're doing that one. Then he made a statement, which I should read it to you because these are his exact words and quite important. He said, meditation is extremely, extremely important. You can do with your eyes open. The more you do, the more you will grow. No one, no matter how big a bhakta or devotee one is, how pure one is, without meditation, he said, you won't get jnana. This is the way, and this is the only way you will get jnana. Without jnana, you will not get liberation. He said this in May of 1998 to Shivangini. So the emphasis laid here about the meditation portion of it. And why the meditation? That much emphasis. This is about 10 years later, after Shivangini passed away in 2005, and this is almost like 2008 at that time, 10 years later, later to that earlier message. I was sitting and meditating. I was in very strong bliss at that time. And at that time, Swami says, bliss and meditation are infinite. The reason I mentioned this one is, meditation is infinite. Infinite means it's done for a long time. It's not like there is an end to it. One can go into meditation, there is no end to meditation. It is ananta. And that's what Swami indicated there. And that's the reason I was stating that experience. And about, I would say, a year later, I had a dream. Now, how to do this meditation? Here, Swami gives a little guidance. He says that in my dream, Swami said, no matter what, one always starts with a form. This is in meditation, with a form, before they finally reach to the formless. And I asked in the meditation, does it apply to all, including Islam, Christianity, etc.? The reason I asked was, they talk a lot about formless. That's why I asked the question. And then Swami said, yes. And the reason and purpose for Swami saying that one is, see, we normally, before starting meditation, all of our mind, the reason we have difficulty in meditating, because we talked about concentration, so long holding it there, so long holding it, then become meditation and so on. We said all that one. And somebody who never did meditation and they are starting to do meditation, their mind is actually very scattered. And you're taking a scattered mind and trying to concentrate it to focusing it, right? Focusing with an object is very difficult for a lot of people when they have to start with an object or with a God, with a form of God, right? It's difficult for them. And instead, if you start with a formless, it is even extremely difficult because your mind will not be able to focus on it, on the formless. And that's the reason Swami said that, what he said. So the takeaway from this one is, if on spiritual journey, if you're on spiritual journey, do meditation for sure. And never to quit meditation. Because you need to reach your source. Swami said, meditation is infinite and you got to meditate till you reach to your source. Okay? So, and you cannot reach without meditation, that source. He said that very clearly, emphatically. And if you're starting meditation, make sure you start with the form so that you are able to concentrate first before you can move on to the other one. Whatever form you choose, doesn't matter which one it is. So this is basically what I want to share on the meditation side. Then we go to the third topic, which is Siddhis, and I'll tell you what they are and why we are going through it. Okay. First, before we go into this one, there is tapas we need to define. Tapas is the word used in Sanskrit in spiritual world. Tapas means spiritual austerity. And what is that spiritual austerity? Controlling of senses, leading a virtuous life, meditation, practicing with steadfastness and with discipline. These are all the things which you do. These are all called tapas. And one does tapas, one gets results like fruits. The fruits of tapas are called siddhis. So the results of tapas are called siddhis. What are siddhis? Siddhis, attainments. It could be an individual's attainment of some kind or other, or yogic powers, or occult powers. It could be anything. Any one of them could be there. So those are siddhis. Okay. Now, moving on to, actually Shivangini read in a book when she was doing her meditations and so forth, that one must focus on the tip of their nose when they are meditating. Okay, and she tried to do that. She didn't know much. I mean, to the degree she knew, Swami was guiding her. Then Swami speaks to her at that time. He says, don't do that. No need to do that. He said, that kind of concentration brings some siddhis, which means occult powers or yogic powers or attainments. Those powers are obstacles in reaching me. You should not focus on them. Because if you do that one, your attention will get drawn towards that, and your focus will change that, and you'll be putting it your direction in a wrong manner. You're going in the wrong direction. You'll do that. But instead, if you do the practices which you are being asked to do, someday you'll find out that that all those siddhis or powers are, suddenly you realize that you already have them. So whatever spiritual practice you are doing, if you continue to do, these will come as a consequence of that, instead of making them as a goal and going after them. And that's what you need to avoid. Okay. Then for myself, when I was meditating, this was much later, after she left her body and so on, twice I tried to focus on my Agnya Chakra. Agnya Chakra is right here in the middle of the eyebrows. And when I tried to do that, first time when I tried to do that one, it told me in Telugu, Vaddu. Vaddu means don't do it. Then after a few months later, I don't know why, but involuntarily my attention went up to that, my Agnya Chakra again. Then Swami said at that time, you are on your own. Means he's totally alerting me, saying that that's the wrong thing to do. Now now whatever consequence you'll have to bear it. And hence, what what my suggestion is, one really needs an external guru or inner voice or both to guide us. Because, like even though I'm told the first time not to do it, second time involuntarily I went there. Then he kind of warned me and took me away from there. One might get a question at this point. That question is, people say that we need to, like I spoke earlier in my spiritual journey. In that one, I spoke about all these chakras and concentration when you're doing them, how the knots get opened, how the chakra gates get opened, and so forth. I talked about that. So, what about Agnya chakra, the gate over there? That gate needs to open, and you need to do that concentration for that to open. But after the gate is open, if you still go towards that chakra, then that is where Swami was warning us not to go there. Now, in terms of Siddhis, there are some misunderstandings. I want to clarify them. And also I want to tell you what kind of Siddhis one gets when one gets to the closer to the goal or reaches the goal, the spiritual goal. Many people who read the scriptures have heard of Chintamani. It is like a jewel. Money really means a jewel. Kalpavruksha is really a wish-fulfilling tree. Whatever you wish for, it fulfills it. It's a tree, apparently. And then Kamadhenu, which is a cow. And what does cow do? Cow fulfills any desire you have. That's how it is portrayed in various places in scriptures and so on. But if you go to Prashnottara Vahini of Swami, it says very clearly, these three are, like he says, Chintamani is not a jewel, Kalparuksha is not a tree, Kamadhenu is not a cow. They are all names for the results or fruits of tapas. We talk about spiritual austerity. When you do spiritual austerities, those are the ones. And he says further, they are powers that automatically accrue. Important point is automatically. Okay, they are powers that automatically accrue to a person as a result of tapas. We talk about karma and consequence. Karma and consequence come automatically. Like you go and hit your head against the wall, pain is there. Can you separate the pain and the hitting the head against the wall? No, you cannot. Likewise, it automatically accrues. So he says that when you do tapas, you automatically accrue the results or the fruits of tapas. So what are these then? If they are not the jewel, not the tree, not the cow, Swami explains. He says that all that one wishes for, if it keeps happening, then because they are in that spiritual state, it is called Kalpavruksha Siddhi. And when one subdues all one's desires, or subdues or gets rid of all those desires, you become fairly desireless. Then it is called, that person has Kamadhenu Siddhi, Kamadhenu power, he has that. In the Chintamani Siddhi, it is, Chinta means worry, mental agitation, and a stage where sorrow is not there. Sorrow is kept apart. That is Chinta. Sorrow is also associated. Chinta means sorrow also. When Chinta ends and one gets the supreme Ananda, that is the highest bliss, is won, then it is said that that person has Chintamani Siddhi. And all the people are on the spiritual journey, when they reach up to the states where higher states, they will start seeing this manifest in them. And personally, I have seen it happen to at least 2 people, which I've seen with my own eyes. That happens to them. Okay, what is the takeaway here for the Siddhis and the so on? Takeaway here is, as you are engaged in spiritual austerities, make sure that you do not deviate from your ultimate goal of God or liberation. Interchangeably, whichever you want to take. Not get sidetracked by any powers that will surface as you are going through the journey, because they will come as a hindrance to you, and you must not get sidetracked by that from your goal. And another third thing is, like as I was trying to do, my inner voice kind of warned me, got me from there. All this meditation, you take tapas, when you're doing tapas and when you're going to into this siddhis and all those things, these are kind of difficult to navigate through until unless you have either an external guru or an internal guru or both. So I think it's fairly important as you advance on this journey that you need to start looking into or start getting exposed to what is the ways you can kind of ward yourself from this kind of difficulties or obstacles in reaching divinity. Okay, Sai Ram.